It often starts quietly. You don't remember the exact moment it began, only that somewhere between childhood and now, you learned that peace was something you had to earn. That affection was conditional. That love was a reward for good behavior, not something you deserved just for being you. Most people think of people-pleasing as a personality trait. They call you nice, generous, or overly empathetic. They see it as a softness, a kindness. But that's not the truth, is it? Not the deep truth. Deep down, you know it's not kindness. It's fear. It's a language you learnt before you even understood the words. It's not a choice. It's a survival strategy. And it was your parents who taught it to you. Part 1. It didn't start with a choice. It started with a lesson. A lesson taught so young, in a language before words, that you don't have a conscious memory of it. You learned that love was not a guarantee. It was a reward. Affection was conditional. Peace was something you had to earn. It was in the air you breathed. It was in the silences. Maybe it was the look your father gave you when you spoke out of turn. It wasn't loud, explosive anger. It was something worse. A cold, heavy disappointment. A look that said, "You are not what I wanted." You felt yourself shrink, your voice catching in your throat, your whole body tightening. Maybe it was the sigh your mother let out when you spilled the milk. It was a sound of profound exhaustion, a sigh that said, "You are a burden. You are making this harder for me." You'd rush to clean it up, apologizing. I'm sorry, your tiny heart hammering, vowing to be more careful, to be perfect, to never be a burden again. Or maybe it was the silence itself, the most powerful tool of all, the way the warmth in the house would vanish when you didn't meet an unspoken expectation. You'd walk into a room excited to show them a drawing you made at school, and be met with a distracted or a turn back. You'd feel the temperature drop. You'd learn instantly, my excitement is not welcome here, my accomplishments are not important. You didn't understand the rules. They were never written down. They changed every day. Be seen and not heard was the law, but sometimes you'd be punished for being too quiet. Speak up for yourself, your father might say. But when you did, you were talking back. You only understood the consequences. Every time you did something that upset them, a frown, a sigh, a cold shoulder, a raised voice, the sound of a door slammed down the hall, you felt something sink deep inside your chest, a cold, hard knot of fear. A child's brain, in its brilliant, desperate attempt to survive, can't conclude, my parents are emotionally immature or inconsistent. It can't conclude, my mother is stressed from work and her sigh has nothing to do with me. A child's brain is egocentric. It can only conclude one thing: I have done something wrong. I am bad. If I am bad, I will be abandoned. And to a child, abandonment is death. And in that quiet childhood terror, you made a promise to yourself. You promised, I will never make them look at me like that again. I will be good. I will be quiet. I will be whatever they need me to be. That's where people-pleasing begins. It's not a flaw. It's a blueprint. It's the conclusion a powerless child draws when their safety, their belonging, and their sense of worth are tied to how happy they can make the powerful people around them. You learned that your feelings were a problem to be solved, but their feelings were a storm to be navigated. And you, a very small child, became a very small sailor, vowing to learn the winds and the tides, just to keep your tiny boat from capsizing. It wasn't kindness. It wasn't generosity. It was survival. Part 2. So you were given a job you never applied for, with no salary and no days off, the peacekeeper. And you took this job very, very seriously. You became a tiny emotional radar. Your entire nervous system rewired itself to scan, to monitor, to predict. You learned to read the weather. You didn't just listen to your parents' words, you listened to their silences. You learned the sound of your father's footsteps on the stairs. A heavy, angry tread meant stay away, be invisible. A light, quick tread meant it might be safe to ask for homework help. You learned to listen for the sound of the car keys in the door, the way the key turned, the way the door opened. That half second of sound told you everything you needed to know about the kind of evening it was going to be. You'd freeze, your body rigid, listening, until you had your data. Okay, the sigh was quiet. The bag was dropped gently. It's safe. Your safety, your belonging, depended on reading that weather correctly. Is mom in a bad mood? Is dad stressed? Are they mad at each other? If they were, you knew it was your job to fix it. You learned to make yourself small, quiet, and useful. You learned to anticipate their needs before they were spoken. You'd clear the table without being asked. You'd get your little brother ready for bed so they wouldn't have to. You'd do your homework in perfect silence, never asking for help, because asking for help was an inconvenience, a burden. You'd become invisible, and you learned that your feelings were inconvenient. Your anger, dangerous. It would only be met with more anger. Your sadness, a burden. You'd be told, stop crying, or I'll give you something to cry about. Or you're too sensitive. Your excitement, too loud. Calm down. Stop showing off. So you learnt to swallow them. You learnt to dissociate, to push your own needs, your own personality, down into a deep dark well inside of you. But their feelings were your responsibility. Their anger was a fire you had to put out. Their sadness was a weight you had to lift. Their stress was a problem you had to solve. You became a master at fixing the mood, filling the silence, and making everything okay again. When an argument started, you'd be the one to crack a joke, or change the subject by asking about school, or accidentally spill a glass of water to create a diversion. You became a little diplomat, a tiny hostage negotiator, trying to keep the peace between two warring, or silently warring factions. You became the good one, the easy child, and you were praised for it. You're so mature for your age, they'd say. You never cause us any trouble, and that praise felt like air. It felt like safety. But you weren't mature. You were terrified. You weren't a child. You were an employee, and the job was to hold the entire emotional weight of the family. Part 3. Here's the problem. That child, that tiny, terrified employee, is still running the show. You're an adult now. You're safe. You're independent. You pay your own bills. You live in your own home. You are, by all definitions, a capable, functioning human being. But your nervous system doesn't know that. It's still running that old, outdated survival program. It hasn't received the memo that the war is over. Your body is still living in that house. That's why your heart hammers in your chest when you think of saying no to a simple request. A coworker asks you to take on an extra project, and your logical brain says, I don't have time. I'm already overloaded. But your body, your nervous system says, if you say no, they will be disappointed. Disappointment is dangerous. It means you are not useful. If you are not useful, you will be abandoned. Say yes now to make the bad feelings stop. So you hear yourself say, yeah, no problem, I can handle it. That's why you apologize for things that aren't your fault. Someone bumps into you in the grocery store, and you say, I'm sorry. You apologize for existing, for taking up space, for having needs. You apologize for sending an email. You apologize for asking a question. You apologize because your core programming says, your existence is an inconvenience. You must apologize for it. That's why your boss sends a one-line email that says, can we talk later? And you are instantly flooded with a cold, sick dread. Your body reacts as if your father is about to yell. You don't think, oh, they probably have an update on the project. You think, I'm in trouble. I've been found out. I'm a fraud. I'm going to be fired. You spend the next 3 hours replaying every single thing you've done for the past month, scanning for your mistake, your failure. It's not a personality flaw. It's a memory. It's an echo. It's a ghost in the machine. Your body still believes, deep in its bones, that if you disappoint someone, if you upset someone, if you are not good, you will be punished, shamed, or abandoned. You are an adult in a chronological sense, but emotionally, you are still that child, trying to earn your place. You're still that tiny sailor, scanning the horizon for the next storm, even when you're standing on dry land. And it is exhausting. You live in a constant low-grade state of anxiety, a hyper-vigilance that you've just come to call your personality. You think you're just an anxious person? You think you're just a worrier? But it's not. It's the conditioning your childhood gave you. It's the old program, still running, still searching for a threat that most of the time isn't even there. Part 4. This is what psychologists call fawning. It's the fourth trauma response, the one nobody talks about. When faced with a threat, and to your nervous system disapproval is a threat, you don't fight, you don't flee, and you don't freeze. You appease. You become the reliable one. You're the friend who will always answer the 2 a.m. text, even when you have to be up at 6. You're the colleague who always says yes to the extra shift, the weekend work, the project nobody else wants. You're the one who hates conflict and will do anything to avoid it. This is your performance, and you are a very, very good actor. You smile when you're angry. A colleague makes a passive-aggressive comment, and you feel that hot flash of anger, but you just laugh it off. You're so right, you say, smiling, while inside you're screaming. You say it's fine, when it's not fine at all. A friend cancels on you for the 3rd time, and you just say, oh, don't worry about it, we'll do it another time, because their comfort is more important than your disappointment. You agree when you're exhausted. Can you just look this over for me? Can you help me move this weekend? Can you pick me up from the airport? And you hear yourself saying, of course, no problem, while your body is aching for rest. You become a chameleon, a shapeshifter, bending yourself into whatever form makes the person in front of you most comfortable. With your boss, you're professional and efficient. With your needy friend, you're the therapist. With your loud, opinionated relative, you're quiet and agreeable. You lose yourself in the performance. You become a master of over-explaining. You can't just say no. You have to write a 5-paragraph essay explaining why you have to say no. An essay designed to manage their potential disappointment, to soften the blow, to prove that you're still a good, kind, accommodating person. I'm so sorry. I really wish I could, but my cousin is in town, and I have this doctor's appointment, and work has been so crazy, and you think you're just being nice. You mistake your exhaustion for your kindness. You say, I just care too much, or I'm just a really empathetic person. But deep down you know it's not generosity, it's fear. You are giving, not from a place of abundance, but from a place of deep, profound scarcity. You are giving in the desperate hope that if you give enough, if you are good enough, if you are helpful enough, this time you will finally be safe. This time you will finally be loved. This time you will not be abandoned. It's a performance for your life, and you're the only one who knows it's an act. But you've been playing the part for so long, you're terrified you'll forget who you are underneath the costume. Part 5. But here is the heartbreaking secret. Here is the hollow prize you get for all your work, all your smiling, all your self-abandonment. Being a people pleaser doesn't actually make people love you. It just makes them comfortable. You get praised, of course. You're called selfless, easygoing, so reliable, and such a good friend. People love you. But here's the quiet, tragic truth. They're not praising you. They are praising your lack of boundaries. They are praising the mask. They are praising the convenient, edited, compliant version of you that never makes them uncomfortable. And this is why you feel so profoundly lonely, even when you're surrounded by people. Why? Because the person they love isn't you. It's the role you're playing. You've robbed them of the chance to love the real, complicated, messy, opinionated, angry, tired, human you. How can they love you when you never show them? So you sit at a dinner party, surrounded by friends who adore you, and you feel completely, utterly invisible. You've listened to everyone's problems for 2 hours, but not one person has asked you a real question. Not one person has noticed the exhaustion behind your smile. You've given, and given, and given, and now you are empty, and no one even notices. You've become a utility, a convenience, an emotional service provider. People don't call you to see how you are. They call you because they need something. Advice, a favor, an audience. And the resentment starts to build. It's a bitter, quiet anger, and it sits in your chest, and you can't even express it, because being angry is not part of your job. Being angry is mean and selfish. So you just smile, and the resentment turns inward, into depression, into anxiety, into a profound self-loathing. You are suffocating, hidden behind your own politeness. You've built your own cage, a cage made of yes and no problem, and I'm fine, and you're the only one inside it. This is the hollow prize. You have achieved peace. You have made everyone comfortable, but you have paid for it with your own soul. You have made yourself disappear, and you realize in a moment of terrible clarity that it is possible to be loved by everyone except yourself. And that is the loneliest feeling in the world. Part 6. So how do you get out? How do you unlearn a lesson that's been wired into your nervous system since you were a child? It starts with acknowledging the truth. Healing from this isn't about becoming selfish or cold. It's about learning a new language, a language where your needs are allowed to exist, a language where your comfort matters just as much as anyone else's. And the first word in this new language is the smallest, most terrifying word in the dictionary: no. The first time you say it, the first time you set a boundary, your entire body will scream in protest. You won't feel empowered, you won't feel strong, you will feel terrified. Your friend asks, "Can you help me move on Saturday?" Your Saturday is the one day you have to rest. Your logical brain knows you should say no. So you take a deep breath and you say it. "I'm sorry, I can't." You don't over-explain. You don't make up a 5-paragraph excuse. You just say, "I'm not available." And your body goes into full-blown panic mode. Your heart pounds. Your palms sweat. You are consumed by a crushing tidal wave of guilt. You are convinced that your friend is furious, that they will hate you, that you have destroyed the relationship, that you are a bad, cruel, selfish person. This discomfort, this terror, is the feeling of your old programming breaking. It's the feeling of withdrawal. It's the inner child screaming, "You're breaking the rules. You're not being good. This is not safe. They will leave us." This is the moment of truth. This is the moment most people pleasers relapse. They can't stand the guilt. They immediately send a follow-up text. "You know what? It's fine. I can make it work. What time should I be there?" But this discomfort is your only way out. You have to sit in it. You have to let them be disappointed. You have to learn, in your body, that their disappointment will not kill you. You have to learn that your friend might be annoyed for a moment, and that's okay. You have to learn that you can survive someone else's minor discomfort. This is where you must choose, over and over again, between your truth and your training. Every time you say a gentle, honest no, and the world doesn't end, you are rewiring your brain. You are teaching that inner child, "Look, we're still safe. They're annoyed, but they didn't abandon us. We are still okay." It's an act of profound courage. It's not a single battle. It's a long, slow war against your own conditioning, but it's the only war worth fighting. Part 7. Healing doesn't end with no. That is just the first painful step. The real healing, the deep healing, begins with yes. It begins with saying yes to yourself, saying yes to your own rest, even when your inner voice tells you that you're being lazy and unproductive. Yes to sitting on the couch and doing nothing, simply because you are tired. Saying yes to your own opinion, even when it's different from everyone else in the room. Yes to saying, "I actually don't agree with that," instead of just nodding to keep the peace. Saying yes to your own peace, your own time, your own energy. Yes to turning your phone on silent. Yes to leaving the party early. Yes to not replying to that text right away. This is the slow, awkward, and beautiful process of reparenting yourself. It's about finally becoming the adult that your inner child always needed. It's about becoming the parent who, when that child is sad or angry or scared, doesn't say "you're too much" or "stop crying" or "you're being ridiculous." Instead, you learn to turn inward and say, "You are allowed to be sad. Your feelings are valid. I'm right here with you. You don't have to earn your place here." You learn to see that your sensitivity, the very thing you were taught was a flaw, is actually your superpower. The emotional radar you built for survival, it's still there, but now freed from fear. It's not a scanning device for danger. It's empathy, it's intuition, it's wisdom. You stop giving from a place of fear, and you start giving, when you choose to, from a place of genuine abundance. You help your friend move, not because you're afraid they'll hate you if you don't, but because you actually want to and have the energy to. It feels completely different. And you finally understand that your worth was never up for negotiation. It was never conditional. You stop trying to be easy, and you start, for the first time in your life, trying to be real. The right people, the ones who are meant for you, won't be scared off by your boundaries. They will be relieved. They will respect them. They have been waiting to meet the real you. And the ones who leave, the ones who call you selfish or difficult now, they weren't your friends. They were your clients. They were just comfortable. Let them go. And one day you'll be in a conversation and you'll state a need or a limit and you'll feel nothing. No guilt, no fear, just a quiet, solid peace. and you'll realize you're free. You've finally taught yourself that your job isn't to make everyone else happy. Your job is just to be whole.